Who was the better Big Boss? Quick warning right at the beginning. This video will have major spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 5. Also, spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid 4, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, and Metal Gears 1 and 2. There are many people who wanted the title of Big Boss, or wanted to prove themselves as better than Big Boss. Looking at you, Liquid.
Now I'll finish the work that Father began. I will surpass him. I will destroy him.
But only two men who ever actually held the title of Big Boss: John, Naked Snake, and Venom. But who did the job better? While you're here, if you enjoy game and character analysis, please subscribe and turn notifications on. What makes a Big Boss? Who is Big Boss? First, to understand who was the better Big Boss, we need to understand why Naked Snake was awarded the title of Big Boss in the first place. Naked Snake was tasked with a seemingly impossible mission in 1964. Defeat the mentor who'd helped him develop all the skills that made him the invaluable soldier he shaped up to be. The boss was made to be a scapegoat for the US, as when she was foe defecting to the Soviet Union, Volgin took the nuke she gifted him and fired it at a Soviet research facility. Firing an American-made nuke pinned the blame of the attack on America, and as President Johnson didn't want to kick off World War III, he quickly shifted the blame to the boss, his recently defected operative. The boss accepted this role, and Naked Snake was tasked with assassinating her, among other things, to atone for the nuclear strike. What kind of soldier was the boss? What was Big Boss superseding? The boss was a fiercely loyal person, and carried out many difficult missions for the US leading up to her role in MGS3. She founded the legendary Cobra unit, which contributed heavily to the Allied forces' victory in World War II, destroyed several V-2 rocket installations during the D-Day landings at Normandy, participated in atomic testing in the Nevada desert, and was the first person sent into space, among other things. Together with Naked Snake, she developed CQC, which would be used for decades by private military companies. What did Naked Snake do to prove he was a more capable operative than the boss?
A man who combines the qualities of a soldier and an agent.
You are above even the boss. I hereby award you the title of Big Boss. You are a true patriot.
By the end of MGS3, Naked Snake proved himself to be a better fighter and a more capable operative after defeating the boss and successfully assassinating her. He prevented nuclear war and helped ease tensions between the US and the Soviet Union. To earn the title of Big Boss is to be seen as a legendary soldier with a mastery over combat and gun skills, akin to being a one-man army. President Johnson is the one to give Naked Snake his title along with the Distinguished Service Cross, so we can also assume that the title of Big Boss is also only given to those who have provided an unimaginable service to the US and proven their loyalty to the top brass. What kind of Big Boss was Naked Snake? Now that we've established what the title of Big Boss means, what kind of Big Boss was Naked Snake? Did he live up to the title? Following MGS3, Naked Snake broke away from the US and eventually established his own private military company, MSF. He hated what he and the boss had been put through, and vowed to make a nation of soldiers where no soldier was pitted against their friends or used as tools to push their government's political agendas forward. In this way, he thought he could honor the boss. Something to note: Naked Snake rejected the title of Big Boss at first. In Peace Walker, the spirit of the boss guided the Metal Gear to walk into a lake to disable it, and upon watching this happen, Naked Snake decided the boss had betrayed him by putting down her guns and accepting her death by his hand in MGS3. He cast away her bandana and decided then that he was Big Boss, and I'll now be referring to Naked Snake as BB. Despite this momentous moment, BB didn't change up any of his goals. He still wanted to build up a nation-state of soldiers and continued to keep the boss in his thoughts all the way up to his death in 2014. As the years wore on, BB grew more and more ruthless, and his tactics to recruit people to his PMCs were shocking. He would purposefully traumatize war-torn areas and kill parents to kidnap their kids and train them to be soldiers in his army. His tactics make me wonder about people like Sniper Wolf, who claimed that Big Boss saved them, but did he really?
Each morning I'd wake up and find a few more of my family or friends dead beside me. But then, he appeared. My hero.
Or do you just think he saved you, and really he was the reason you were in trouble in the first place? BB's charisma won him the loyalty of all those who served under him. He never lost his edge, neither as a soldier nor as a leader, as even in Metal Gear 2, where BB is at his most unstable, we still see people like Gray Fox willing to lay down their life for him. So other than his disloyalty to the US, BB upholds his status as Big Boss through his charismatic leadership and unparalleled skills on the battlefield. What kind of big boss was Venom? What were Venom's goals? Venom was created to support BB's goals while also acting as a distraction for BB's enemies to focus on instead of BB himself. He was a scapegoat and a placeholder while BB built back up his own private army. While acting as BB, Venom also needed to destroy Sahelanthropus and stop Skullface from eradicating language. Lastly, he needed to be the best boss he could be for his Diamond Dogs to keep morale up. How did Venom achieve these goals? Firstly, Venom achieved his body double status through no effort or consent on his own part. Just before the events of MGS5, Venom is physically altered through plastic surgery to look like BB, and then Ocelot puts him through hypnotherapy to make him believe he was BB. With BB's beliefs and Ocelot and Coz's support, Venom starts to build up Diamond Dogs into what BB envisioned, a nation-state of soldiers fighting for themselves. Venom worked with Coz to take on jobs that paid well enough to support Diamond Dogs' growth and used their connections to track down Sahelanthropus. He destroyed Sahelanthropus and defeated Skullface, though I guess technically Sally was the one to defeat Skullface. Although for most of MGS5, Venom followed as closely as he could in BB's footsteps, there are a few key differences between the two in how they approached being boss. Venom is a much more kind-hearted big boss. When he encounters and extracts child soldiers onto his base, he chooses to provide them with an education instead of continuing to exploit them. BB would never. He purposefully makes orphans out of kids so that he can train them up to join his army. Venom is also passionate about animals. He saves endangered, and not so endangered, animals to live out their lives peacefully in an animal observatory. Again, BB would never. You know what he does when he finds the super rare Tsuchinoko? He eats it. You know what he does when he finds some old man's parrot? That's right, he eats it. Venom has a softness about him. When he has to put down the infected people in the quarantine platform, he knows this is necessary to keep the world safe from the parasites spreading further than the base, but he still feels terrible about it. Venom sees himself as a demon for what he's done and can't bring himself to part with the ashes of his fallen comrades. Instead of spreading their ashes in the sea, he makes them into diamonds that he and the rest of the Diamond Dogs can wear into battle. Obviously, we don't know what BB would have done in Venom's place, but regardless, we can see that Venom is a compassionate big boss. An argument can be made for or against Venom being charismatic, though he was able to draw quiet in at least, so there was definitely something alluring about him. He leans more heavily on Coz and Ocelot to help him in ways of leadership, though. And as for skills on the battlefield, only BB himself probably could have bested him. Parting thoughts. We did a poll on YouTube asking who was the better big boss, BB or Venom, and I was honestly shocked by the results. I thought Venom would have won in a landslide, but from the very beginning, BB beat him out. It really made me pause and reevaluate what being big boss means and who better represents that title. To me, big boss means someone who is the pinnacle of what it means to be a warrior and an operative. Someone who makes things happen. Though, because the title originates from a US president, I also think it means someone who's loyal to the US above all else, since Naked Snake's loyalty is what earned him the moniker in the first place. Neither he nor Venom are loyal to the US though, so we'll just put that qualification to the side for now. Big Boss has the most experience as a warrior. He helped develop CQC, a form of combat that would be used for decades following its creation. From 15 years old, he's been fighting, and he fought all the way up to his death in 2014 when he was 79 years old. Venom was trained to be BB's Phantom, but do I think Venom could best BB if it came down to it? No way. Not even Solid Snake, who's been knowledgeable in CQC for years longer than Venom, can out-CQC BB when it comes down to it. So what chance would Venom have? For making things happen, BB definitely gets more done than Venom. I don't know how fair it is to judge Venom on this, but it's BB's dream to create a nation-state of soldiers free from political pressures. Venom had been supporting BB's dream even before he took on his mantle, not fighting to make his own individual change in the world. Conclusion. Being a better person is different than being a better big boss. Venom is clearly a better person than BB. He sets up child soldiers that come into his care to be educated and have a chance at escaping the life of a soldier, whereas BB purposefully traumatizes kids and kills their parents so that he can train them to be soldiers in his army. Venom cares about endangered animals and rescues them to be cared for in an animal observatory. Even though Venom knows killing the infected people in the quarantine platform was necessary to keep people safe, he still feels like those deaths make him a demon. As he walks away from what he's done, a flash of him covered in blood with a long horn protruding from his head is seen. He also can't bear to part with the ones they've lost, and instead of spreading their ashes, turns them into diamonds that they can all wear out into battle. All of these things clearly show that Venom is a better person than BB. But does that make him a better big boss? By definition, Venom was created to support BB. BB's dream is to achieve the boss's will and honor her death. Did Venom achieve BB's dream better than he could have, or did he break away from supporting BB to achieve his own goals? No and no. Venom never tried to break away from BB. He continued to support him, even when that support cost him his life in Metal Gear 1. So we can really only evaluate Venom as BB's Phantom, and how is a Phantom ever going to be better than the original Big Boss? What do you think? Who was the better Big Boss, Venom or BB? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Please like, subscribe, turn notifications on, and join us in Discord. We're always talking about MGS. More importantly than that though, please take care of yourselves, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you.